talk to us about what you're doing, other than hanging out inside a waveblaster.
This will be good.
Here it is. This is... Oh, you're not cranking it.
I'm not doing it.
All waveblaster triple. This is waveblaster triple work, and Jason wanted me to film him struggling to remove the foam.
I just want everyone to see me at my lowest. Oh, I'm so miserable. I'm so miserable, I'm gonna say something bad about you guys.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say all you guys that are wondering about how to build a Waveblaster 1200 are just too lazy to Google it.
Wow, Mr. Positive is calling you guys out.
But, you know, I'm still gonna tell you how to do it. At least as far as I know. I guess I've never done it. So, since I've never done it, and like there's guys on like everywhere online that have done it, and they're like, some of them are pretty friendly if you just like get on the forums and chat, or at least that's what it seems like. Or you could just like go from what I say while I'm making this video of me struggling, like go with this one. So the thing that I'm starting with is removing the foam from the back so I can put a water box in the back. This part is pretty miserable. I think a lot of guys use a Sawzall, but I mean there's just no room to work, so you might consider just Sawzalling up your hole if you're good at the fiberglass. And once that's done, then I have a, this is actually a 770 water box. What is it from? The Daytona 770 Tiger Shark. So we're gonna put that in, and I'm just gonna hope that it works good, because that's what I have. But a lot of guys use the Wave Raider, I think it's the Wave Raider water box. It's like the Wave Raider 1. Like there's two water boxes, and one of them's got like this part that comes off the end at an angle, and that's the wrong one. And the other one does not have that, and that's the right one. And I'm not sure why, but that's just what they say. And then you just plumb it back there. And I think some of those guys put out the they put in the 3-inch exhaust fitting and everything, like Jacob did on at least one of the Super Jets. And I'm not gonna do that. And I'm just gonna hope that it works good. And if it doesn't, well, I guess I'll learn about those things. I bought myself a bunch of silicone right angles. They're like, is it turbo hose, I think? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like for doing, I don't know, turbo crap on cars.
Yeah. So, I feel like you're right. So there's one of them. And it's for doing turbo crap on cars. But this stuff works great on the things I've used it on. It looks good, it smells good, it tastes good, and
but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is good.
You won't mind when your buddies see you using it. But anyway, you can like just order up the size you want. It's pretty easy, and I'm gonna use that stuff to make the exhaust that comes out like upward, bend around and come back down and attach where I need it to.
The fun thing is that right now we know for sure that he's not going to be using the super convoluted, insane engine mount brackets that he had mocked up before.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen, if that's on this video or if it's on something else, but there was some crazy bracketry they were going to use. And it turns out that Jason wants to just use the brackets that are on my Wave Raider triple swap that are very simple, designed with simplicity in mind.
Well, I mean, like, are you breaking some hearts right now? Like, people don't know that that's gonna go away, and they love it.
Love what?
That Wave Raider triple swap.
Oh, well, if they've been watching the show at all, they'll be thinking in their minds, But he's not saying anything about putting a small engine in it, so it doesn't mean it's going away, which must mean there's some plan for an even bigger, even crazier engine to go in there.
So, unbreak those hearts.
But one way or the other, something will happen, unless it doesn't.
That's true, for sure.
So that as to say, yes, that triple's coming out of the Wave Raider.
Oh, I feel like there's like 2 things that people want to know about building waveblaster 1200s. And it seems like they probably want to know about putting in the exhaust, because the water box is usually up here, so you have to move it somewhere else because you got a big engine taking that up. And then they probably want to know about making engine mounts.
Yeah, well, we'll show them the engine mounts when we get that engine out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your water box in the back and know how to weld and make these engine mounts.
Okay, everybody, Wave Blasterness. This is Wave Blasterness. There's something I want to show on this little project, which is kind of interesting. The exhaust setup that Jason has created. There it is. He's got his 90-degree bends with some metal pipes in there to create that bend to hook up to his exhaust, and his little water box in there as well. And you can see it's a GP 1200 rubber piece that's would come in a GP 1200, and he had to open up this area to fit the larger rubber piping there. So I don't know if you want to add to that at all.
Yeah, that seems like what I did.
Okay.
I hope it works.
This is kind of the heart of the build, probably the thing everybody's going to ask about the most. Here's a set of stock engine brackets. It's a 2-piece setup. Now here's the bracket that I've made to put it into your 701 type ski. So this just goes on there. I mean, it's a 2-piece or a 1-piece design now, and that's the hole where the motor mount lines up on the 701. So it's really pretty easy to make. You just have your 2 mounts bolted onto your engine, weld a piece of straight bar aluminum, then you just measure in your hole the distance between this mounting point to this mounting point. You come over here, measure it, and you drill out your hole. It's pretty simple. And then this just bolts right up on there. Now this is out of my Wave Raider, and that engine came out of that, and that's phase 1 for that is done, and we're moving on to phase 2 for on the Wave Raider. But this so I'm gonna let Jason have this bracket kind of for letting me borrow that motor for a while on the Wave Raider. All right, Jason, talk to us about what you're doing other than hanging out inside a Wave Blaster.
I decided that I'm about the size of a GP 1200 engine, so I'm trying to see if I fit in here to know if the engine will fit in here.
Are you about the same weight as a GP 1200?
I think I'm about the same weight. What do you think one weighs?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like 100 pounds?
It's gotta be more than that, doesn't it?
I don't know. You asked me to guess, and that's what I did.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, you're not allowed to guess wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to do all the fuel lines before we put the engine in, and all the water lines before I put the engine in, so that hopefully there will be less suffering doing chores once the engine is in. But oh man, I'm in this spot and there's like all these bugs falling out of this tree onto me, and it's shady, but I'm just tired of the bugs falling on me, and I just want this to be done and working.
And this might actually be the hottest day of the year for us.
Yeah, good day to be wrenching.
Which is pretty funny. I mean, we're gonna ride, but the tide's not in yet.
Yeah.
And Jason wants to ride this, so.
If this were done, it would be in enough. I'm just hanging out in here having fun. I'm having fun.
Alright guys, here's our engine right here, getting ready to go into the waveblaster. I just wanted to go over the motor mounts one more time because I feel like this is the thing that people are going to ask me the most about. Or Jason, I guess it's Jason's build. Here's the normal rear mount for your 1200. This is the normal front mount for your 1200. You can see how I just put this bar here and I measured distance between this rear mount for a 701 and the front mount. So that's the distance between this and this, the center. You just do center to center. That's how you do that stuff. And people who know are gonna know, and people who don't are like, center to center, that doesn't make any sense at all. But anyways, that's how I got that. And that was in the Wave Raider, which had a 701 in it. So in theory, it should just drop right in. Now if you reuse the rear mount, then your coupler is gonna line up and such. And if you need to mount it, say off of the forward mount for some reason, which would bring the engine more towards the rear, then you know your other hole is gonna have to be drilled, you know, wherever it needs to go, here or whatever. But your coupler's not gonna line up. You'd have to do a different mid shaft or something. And I don't know that there's any shorter ones that can go in one of these wave blasters. So there's a whole bunch of pointless info. If you guys are actually doing this, maybe it actually might help you, but there you go.
Okay, perfect. So this will be good.
Here it is. This is the original first touching of inside there-ish. I believe this has been done before, so it's not like revolutionary, but
I'm ready. I deserve a break.
okay, show us your face.
Whoa. My back likes that. Oh, that's nice. Oh.
Let's just say this engine is taking a little convincing to get her in there. It's not like hardcore convincing, but it's just taking a bit of time, and for sure that getting it done in the correct order is very important.
Bolts right up. So
well, like, don't, in the internet world, don't take that as, oh, it just drops in. You do have to make a bracket or buy a bracket for it to fit.
yeah, and you have to make the exhaust work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, what I meant was the electronics bolt right up.
Yeah, so the electronics do bolt right up. They're way in the back, so he was putting that on before we had the motor all the way set down.
Man, we're so close, but it's just like, I have to do like
a billion things?
Not a billion things, like it's so close, but the things I have to do are not very easy. Like, you know, I have a million problems with it.
Well, go ahead and tell. Okay, Jason wants to do all these little things on this so that it'll work perfect when we take it out in the water. And he thinks that it's going to be today, and I just wanted to show you guys that it is cloudy and kind of awful. So,
Fully awful.
Jason woke up this morning and said it's cloudy and awful, so I want to ride this thing because I never, ever want to be riding when it's nice out.
Well, you just don't test a ski when it's nice out, because like if you, the ski that you're testing only works as good as the weather is. So if it's nice out, the ski will work perfect every time. Okay.
You just told me, thank goodness Jacob's triple swap blew up.
Whoa, I didn't say thank goodness. That's
you were
so
like,
dark.
thank the Lord.
Oh, I was hoping Jacob would have the worst day ever. That's what I really want.
So that you could steal the air filters off of his triple.
I mean, if you're gonna go that route, I could have just stolen them anyway. But, you know, it was kind of convenient since it turns out I needed them.
And let me guess, you stole that pulse line off his number 3 cylinder and that's why it blew up? And you did it on purpose because you were mad at him.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yes.
Yeah, the pulse line goes between the carburetor and the crankcase.
You know, he knew this was coming for stealing my ride plate.
Yeah. So you took his pulse line and now you're square.
I took his pulse line, I blew up his engine, and I actually sabotaged the handle pull so that would break too. And now we're square.
Alright, we need to stop there. perfect.
Oh,
I didn't even have the camera going, and you started it right up.
Well, I didn't think it would start that easily. What's with that?
I think it knows when the camera's rolling. You might as well just stop.
Well, I wasn't doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're not cranking it.
I'm not doing it.
Are you sure it's not you?
Oh, you think it's one of those? Well, we could do this. Ah, still going.
Well, that's very interesting. Well, push the starter button again. By hand, it doesn't have to be. Alright guys, so Jason's at a special point where his electronics have failed in an unusual way. So why don't you go show him. Okay, let me explain. There's nothing making this start. Nobody's pushing a start button. It's just always starting. So go ahead. Oh, and it runs now. Oh, look at that. Should be able to hit the stop button.
Oh, the stop button on this thing works.
Well, so was the starter cranking that whole time?
Well, I unhooked the battery, so eventually not.
Well, it does run pretty good, it seems.
Oh,
Idle seemed pretty good, so
stop switch is also screwed up.
this one's got loads of fun ahead.
Still loads of fun ahead.
You should have used that other e-box, man. It was all set and ready.
Wait, what?
You know, the e-box that I used for a long time.
You didn't even say I should do that.
I know, but now I told you so.
Oh, okay. Gosh, I should have listened to you when you said it to me.
Yeah, just now. You should have gone back in time.
I should listen to you now and made a time machine to save myself in the past.
Yeah, but I just want to let you know that the battery you had there before wasn't very good.
You know, I really noticed that.
Boys, it's been a little while since I made a video. And it's time to get out the duct tape. We're gonna show you today how to put a Kawasaki start-stop switch on a Yamaha the easy way. No scissors required. Alright kids, I'm gonna show you just how I do it. If I can find a proper place for the camera that looks alright. So, I'm going to use this for an example. We need this, which is like the Yamaha style plug, to be on the end of this, right? What you do, grab yourself a safety pin like this, and you stick it, you jam it in the end there, and if you have one of these in real life, which I'm sure you can't see on the video, there's like a little clip that you could pop up, and then this slides out like that, right? You just have to pop these out of your Yamaha or whatever. I mean, I'm sure you could get this off of something else, but we need the Yamaha style connector, right? And so then take your Kawasaki side and do same thing, and I believe it's going to be the two top and the two bottom that are your on and off. So we're going to pull this, and come on. Fortunately, we are lucky that these are actually compatible within the plugs. I mean, it's not, once you get the little, the inside part, they're cross-compatible, so that is something that we are really lucky to have. So, oh, come on, this one's being stubborn. Either that or I'm not doing this one is good. But you get it out, okay, then there you go. Slap it in the Yamaha one. Boom, boom, it just clips right in. And I'm not going to do it because Jason's going to use another end clip. I just used this one for the video, but that's how it's done. And there's no splicing and nothing. That's easy breezy. I took my time and I worked hard, and later I figured out how to get the wires together, and it worked perfectly. The more I thought about it, the more I was happy that I watched Jacob's tutorial about how to put some jet ski plugs on a Yamaha Kawasaki with a jet ski and and the ski worked really good.
Another try at firing up the wave blaster. Thank you to Jacob's special splicing technique. Put a Kawasaki switch onto a Yamaha without actually splicing the wires. We just disconnected the connectors and put on the ones that matched. I really hope it turns over and does something this time. That looked pretty good. I wish I could have two hands easier for this, but I don't. I was thinking that maybe we could title this video something like The Sexy Wetsuit Edition, and it could become our new least popular video on the channel. And on top of that, everyone not watching it would never find out that it's actually going to be the waveblaster 1200 first ride video. So got it all together, it fires up, and well, I'm cautiously optimistic that everything will work good and nothing will break. Jacob's out there riding, Josh is at work. Unfortunately, the thing Jacob's riding isn't really working, so it's more like he's working on it. So if it doesn't work, I don't think anyone will be around to rescue me. Blaster 1200, nothing could possibly go wrong. Ski has a history of racing, formerly owned by Cosmic, which some people somewhere have told me they know who that is. It's got the engine of a wildebeest and the water box of a Tiger Shark 770. You think it's gonna work? Seems pretty fast, but it rides differently than I remember a wave blaster riding. It's like slipperier, or I was on a C2HX and I remember the wrong kind of riding. But since I don't have a float on the camera right now, I'm kind of afraid to go for it. Jacob's gonna give the 1200 blaster a go. It seems loud, but not too loud. Not like the Sea Rat. I feel like it's quieter than the Superjet 1200. Also, Jacob needed a good ride right now because his ski is being the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty darn fast. It might be propped a little weird for the engine, but
Yeah.
it definitely feels like a good amount of power for this thing. I feel like it's probably just slidey because of how the prop's hooking up and just having this much more power in a ski this big.
Which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good amount of power. More power is good.
Yeah, no doubt.
I feel like maybe it doesn't really, the whole shot on it doesn't like,
Rip your arms off?
it doesn't, yeah, and then the top speed isn't like insane. It's probably like 50-ish,
Yeah?
so
Yeah, it doesn't seem crazy to me, so.
I don't know. I kind of think maybe a different prop in this thing would make it a little better, but you can definitely tell that it seems to be running correctly, I would say.
Yeah,
So that's a pretty good win.
seems like the engine and that stuff's running really good.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
So I guess just take all the best parts. This thing is working really good. Like, maybe it could be tuned or something with the perfect prop, but it starts right up and just runs good. Comfortable on this yet, but I don't know, might as well do a lap time. See how it goes. I feel less nimble on this ski than I do on the Waveblaster 701. So I don't know if that's just like too much power taking over or something else entirely, but like when I want to turn, it's not always ready to turn. And when I try to do that tight turn around the pole or something, I don't know, I probably just need to ride it a little bit more and then it'll work great. should be a nice, cool shot of me getting stuck in the weeds back here. For Jacob, because pretty much like my ski is working directly inversely as good as his ski, so it's working really good, so everything could possibly go wrong is going wrong for him, and he's stuck outside the pilings with like a ski breaking down constantly. So somebody get that man a beer.